What's going on, everybody? It's Johnny Candido of Candido Training
HQ.
and in today's video I just want to kind of go over, kind of vlog about the world meet I had and also go over a couple things as well. A couple of things in addition to that. Now, first of all, with the world meet, it was in South Africa, which is kind of a weird experience for me because I have to fly so far, and personally I'm extremely terrified of flying, so that was an extremely uncomfortable way to start it off. But when it came down to it, it was actually quite comfortable, and there was a decent hotel there. So I was pretty comfortable despite the traveling, and my clock really wasn't that affected, my sleeping clock, when I wake up. It wasn't really that affected or impacted in a way that's actually going to impact my performance. So when it came to lifting, I felt really good, and warming up I felt great as well. And what I really want to talk about besides my lifting, because you already saw that, I want to talk about the coaching especially. That's really the main point I want to highlight here, because that's what you don't see in the videos. You just see the lifters perform, and you see my lifts obviously in my video. And the coaching was extremely impactful. It was extremely important to me, because otherwise what I usually do in meets is my first attempt's usually pretty heavy, and then my second attempt is usually what I want to hit, and then my third attempt is just what I hope to hit on a great day. If everything goes right, I could maybe hit that. But instead what we did here is we followed the philosophy regarding attempt selection of Matt Gary, who's a USAPL coach, and he is just a genius when it comes to this. So I'll include a link in the description to his services, and I invite you to just look him up and to look up some of the content he has regarding how to prepare and how to compete in a powerlifting meet. Because it is amazing the difference it made. Instead of opening up at, I think I was going to do something in like 523, instead I only opened with 509 and smoked that, and then built my confidence up. And instead of doing 250 kilograms or more on the second attempt, I went a bit lighter, so then it set me up perfectly for that third attempt. And all of that added up by the end of the meet, and then on the third deadlift attempt, I was able to just go for the medal, and I was amazed I was even in that position. Because it was such an outside chance that I could even be close to medaling that I wasn't even thinking about it. I honestly thought it was weird that they were talking about that, about setting me up in the bench press to possibly have a chance. I didn't even think that was possible. So I want to thank all the coaches. Matt Gary is the one who instills the whole philosophy, and then Melinda Baum and Angela Simmons, and also my buddy Arian, he coached as well, and it was amazing how helpful he was. And I can honestly say that I would not have been able to total over 1,500. I would not have been able to medal if it weren't for all of these people. I know for a fact that's the case. And it kind of gets back to the theme that I touched upon in my video with Chelsea. Whereas when you have people who are like-minded, people who are encouraging and know what they're doing around you while you're, for this meet, while I'm prepping, while I'm warming up, I have people who tell me exactly what I need to do, and people who can relate to the feelings that I'm having. It makes it so much easier. You feel like you can relate to people, and you're way more confident when it comes to actually stepping onto the platform. So that's really all I want to touch on for the competition. Afterwards, it was really cool being able to hang out with Brett Gibbs and second place Randy Zoe, who, by the way, I don't know if people realize how ridiculously built he is. He has got to be the biggest 83 kilogram lifter ever, because he just weighed in at exactly 83 kilograms, and then I think he weighed 89.4 kilograms afterwards. So now I think he's already back to 200 pounds and over. And as you can see, he's carrying quite a bit of muscle mass, which really brings up 2 points I think people don't understand when it comes to actually watching these meets and being there, is they don't see how big a lot of these powerlifters are, how much muscle mass they have, and also another thing is you don't realize how short a lot of them are. Which is, not a diss to anybody. I'm a manlet. I'm only 5'7", but I think I was the tallest of the top 3. And you see that. You see all the 83 kilogram lifters who are really amongst the elite seem to be that short. And then even some 93 kilogram lifters were pretty short. So everybody was a lot more thick and a lot shorter than you would anticipate just on looking on video. When it comes to the higher weight classes, obviously that's a different story. A lot of the bigger guys are taller, so it's not just that powerlifting, you have to be a manlet or you have no chance. But I'll make a video on that separately sometime later. By far the biggest takeaway I had from this competition was that I noticed the top level lifters, guys like specifically Brett Gibbs, have a different mentality than most people, and have a different mentality than I was having. I used to be more aggressive in terms of what I expected out of myself, in terms of the progression I expected. And I think I've let that kind of go astray because partially, it's due to a lot of reasons. I don't want to say any one thing. But I think part of it is that the more my channel succeeds, the more it's easier to be complacent, to be happy with where you're at and think that, okay, I'm pretty strong. But then you see guys like Brett Gibbs, you see how they expect so much out of themselves. He asked me, even out myself, he asked me, when are you going to deadlift 300 kilograms? Like it was just something that's around the corner. And it did make me think, why aren't I expecting that? I honestly think that one of the reasons for my lowered expectations was because I was hearing so much about the whole fake natty conversation, saying, these IPF lifters are on gear, they're using stuff. And I've even had someone message me, why do you promote guys like Connor Lutz and Brett Gibbs, yet you chastise guys like Cali Muscle and Mike O'Hearn when they're clearly all using? And I think I just heard so many conversations like that of people who really think that, who think it's just that clear cut, who think there's just no way, Connor Lutz is naturally doing this. When it's just, to me, it's ridiculous, and I think that I let it hold me back as an athlete. Now, you guys can believe whatever you want. You guys can think that, everybody in the IPF uses. I've even had someone comment on my video that now they're no longer believing that I'm natural and that they were looking up to me and now they're leaving. I want someone like that to please leave. Like, leave my channel if you're going to do that, because I don't care. You're not going to do anything noteworthy. So, I know I'm not trying to be mean here, but all I'm going to say is now I have different goals. I have way different expectations for myself with each workout, and I'm going to adjust that in my programming as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to low bar squat and deadlift with a belt, competition style, every single time, and then incorporate Olympic squats, pause squats, beltless as an accessory, and sumo deadlifts as an accessory as well. And I know I've said before that I don't really believe in doing that. I believe in just switching between the styles. But something I've noticed is I let that get too far away I get too far away from my competition lifts, and I don't see my progress as solidly. I don't see my short-term progress. It becomes too long-term, and then I could high bar squat for, a month, then maybe I high bar squat with a belt for a month, then I low bar squat with a belt, and then, how much did my max actually increase? I don't know. I don't have that pressure. Whereas if I'm low bar squatting with the belt every single week, I know exactly where I stand, and I can force myself to get stronger every single week, or if I don't, I know exactly what I need to do. And I do think having the Olympic squat be an accessory with lighter weights and with a pause in beltless will help add enough variation to where I don't think the movement patterns will overlap in a way that's detrimental to my competition low bar squat. So anyways, the conclusion of that was that my outlook has been shifted now. Now I'm way more focused on the competitive aspect rather than just self-development. Now I have specific goals, both in terms of numbers and placement. And this year of training is just going to be extremely focused, and I'm going to put way more energy than I've ever put into lifting. Also, real quickly, before I go, I have another announcement that I have new shirts now, and you can see them on the screen. It says Think Deep, Squat Deeper, and those are new shirts available, and it's all the details are on the website, so you can buy them. They're in red and black, and the pricing's on the website. It's $20.99 and then $21.99. The red is slightly more expensive, but that's because we have a limited quantity of those. So I really like these shirts. They're comfortable and they're a little more casual than the other shirts. And the biggest important detail is that the sizes this time are accurate. So don't get a size smaller. Get your regular size, and then it'll be pretty tight of a fit. You can see this is a medium on me. So that's it, guys. If you want to buy the new shirts, check it out. The link is in the description. And also, more information on Matt Gary, of course, as I mentioned earlier, is in the description. I strongly recommend, if you're going to compete in powerlifting, that you read up some of his work, because it is really great and it's extremely useful when it comes to actually competing on the platform. Alright guys, that's it. Overall, this was a great experience at the IPF meet, and I'm way more motivated than I've ever been to train as hard as possible to just take my lifts to another level. Alright, that's it guys. Make sure to like the video, support the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching guys. Peace!